So everybody wants to know, how do I become successful? Well, in my opinion, there's only really one way to become successful, and that's the topic of today's video. So watch all the way to the end of the video and see what it is and how to implement it. If you've never been here before, welcome. I'm Jody Haar, Leadership and Management Coach. This is Velocity Leadership. So before we get into today's content, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button below to stay up to date on all of our latest content. I would hate for you to miss out on something important. And if at any point you get value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It does help out the channel. We can all find excuses as to why we're not as successful as we think we should be, or we're not where we ought to be in life. It seems like we're pre-programmed to have this defense mechanism where we look for an escape route to kind of let ourselves off the hook. And I'm no different. I spent years thinking I would never be any more than a small town kid who grew up in a trailer park in Michigan. We were poor and I really had no clue as to what success was or what it looked like. But as I got older, I started to see more and think that there was more possibilities out there. And that's where things changed for me. I was 28 or 29 and somebody saw a lot more in me than I saw in myself and offered me a promotion. And this was when I took probably the biggest risk I've ever taken in my entire life. And you may say, well, how can a promotion be risky? Right, those are great. In reality, it is. But this promotion came with a catch. I had to move to Los Angeles. And I had never been hardly anywhere outside of Michigan. So going out to California and moving there to take this promotion was really, really scary. In fact, this move was the scariest thing that I'd ever done. The idea of leaving everyone and everything that I'd ever known and had ever seen to go all the way across the country and move to a state that I'd never been to and a city that I'd never seen. And the fact that I was doing it all by myself, I didn't have anybody to go with me and share in the fear or the excitement. It was really, really a tough decision to make. But as it turns out, accepting this position turned out to be the one single thing that set me off to have a career that I never imagined I would ever have. It was hands down the scariest thing that I had ever done. And I wanted to turn around and go home more than once. But in the end, it showed me what I was capable of. Once you've made a decision like this and you've moved, all the way across the country, or you've made a huge leap of faith like this, every other move or decision that you make just gets easier. Heck, I've moved a couple of times since then and I don't even think about it. It doesn't even faze me to move, city to city or state to state. So you ask, why the long story? Well, it's really to set the stage and kind of give you some background as to, what the impacts were of making this decision. That single decision and that act of taking a leap of faith into something that I had no clue as to how it was going to work out or if it was going to work out turned out to be the one decision that I made that set in motion every opportunity I've had to succeed since that point. As people, we set so many limitations on ourselves that it becomes very difficult to see what truly is possible because we've put blinders on and we've been talking to ourselves in our head for such a long time, telling us that we're only capable of doing a certain thing. And that's completely untrue. You're capable of doing much more than that if you take those limitations out and start taking action moving forward. And the reality is, just taking action helps to build the momentum, getting you closer and closer to that success you're looking for. And it doesn't have to be some major dramatic move or where you're moving across the country. It can be applying for a job that maybe you don't feel qualified for or you don't feel totally comfortable with your abilities, but you can learn it. Or it's learning a skill that'll help improve your abilities to lead. Maybe it's taking a communication class so you can step out in front of a room and you can communicate and you can talk to a group of people that makes you feel super uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be a large move, but it needs to be a series of small steps. The simple step of taking action can be what propels you down that path of success. And it's not just success for you, but it's for your family and your loved ones. So I want you to stop imagining what success would look like and start taking steps to move closer towards it. Starting the process today and taking that first step makes that next step easier and the next step after that even easier. Just look one step ahead. When I think back as to how difficult it was for me to take that first role and take that leap, I wanted to quit over and over again. I thought I was in way over my head and I was totally overwhelmed. But I didn't. I never gave up. And every single day I took a small step forward to improve myself and improve my skill set. And that is what has led to me having any opportunity that I've had today to help other people and to train people to become the best leaders that they can possibly be. The difference in where you are and where you can be or where you should be is the simple act of taking action. Then they don't have to be huge. They can be small steps, but just taking action today is going to help you so that when you take that next step tomorrow, it's even easier. And this leads me to a quote by Tony Robbins. If you've ever heard him speak, you've possibly heard this before. And it's, people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in 5 or 10 years. And that really resonates with me. If I look back at who I was 5 or 10 years ago, I never would have imagined the level of influence I've had on people's lives and the way I've been able to impact people for the better. So just sit back and imagine, how much better you'll be if you start taking action today in the next 5 or 10 years. You'll look back and wonder, why did I wait so long to take those steps? But there is an alternative. You could sit right where you are today and not take any action. And then 5 or 10 years from now, you're going to be in the exact same spot that you are, wanting to know why you haven't achieved that level of success. And you can, but you have to take action. If you want to get to the level of success that you've always dreamt of, it starts with taking action. And I beg you, take action today. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't put it off. You don't need anyone else's approval. You're the only one that matters. You have to make the decision. Don't ask for somebody else. Other people are going to come and they're going to go, but it's your belief in what you can do and what you're capable of that's going to set you forward on the path to your success. All right, it's your turn. So go ahead and comment below on what uncomfortable action you're going to take and where you're going to be in 5 or 10 years. I would love to hear about it. And remember, it's not the destination, but the journey and how you grow along your journey. You are going to be a different person 5 or 10 years from now. You're not going to be the same. You're going to be bigger and better based on the actions that you take. So start your journey today and enjoy it. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video.